That is a great question and also a very hard question to answer.
Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Ilse Zamarripa and this is the Worldspace. Today we have a very special guest. His name is David Han. He is currently working as a cinematics animator for Blizzard. Not to mention that he won an Annie Award for his animation in SpiderVerse. Welcome, David.
Hey Elsa, thanks for having me here on your channel. It's a pleasure to be your guest.
No, thank you very much for being our guest in the Worldspace. That means a lot. And I want to ask you a few questions that my subscribers and I came up with. I hope you like them. Please tell us about your favorite movies or TV shows growing up and how did they make you who you are today?
Favorite movies and TV shows? It's quite a bit, and it's a little bit of a weird mixture, I guess. Lots of action movies. Anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, like Total Recall or Terminator 2. Lots of martial arts or kung fu movies. Ton of Jackie Chan. Drunken Master is amazing. But also peppered in with some 2D animated Disney movies. I haven't seen all of them, but I did have The Little Mermaid on VHS. And I'm pretty sure I've watched that like a million times. And then as I grew older, I started watching anime, and that's when I was sort of introduced to more mature animation that had a cooler, edgier style. It was like really cool to see at the time because I had never seen anything like that. So I watched a ton of stuff, like Ghost in the Shell, Kenshin, Cowboy Bebop. The cliche answer would be Dragon Ball. I watched a lot of Dragon Ball when I was a little kid. And yeah, I think all of that stuff helped shape my sensibilities today. It has really made me appreciate action in movies and choreography. So a lot of the times when I'm just sitting around daydreaming, I'm thinking or coming up with cool action set pieces or like sequences in my mind that hopefully I will get to animate later.
How do you manage to animate your shots? We really love the shots you do out of work, and we wonder what's your time schedule? How do you manage to come up with this amazing work while working at the same time? How do you manage to do them?
I would come back from work and do more animation after working. I'd eat dinner and then I'd try to squeeze in some more time working on my own stuff, but I wouldn't recommend that. And what I ended up doing after realizing that was a bad idea was trying to allot some time to work on it on the weekends. And I think the thing that I learned was to be patient. When you're working on personal stuff, you're not working with quotas or deadlines or anything. It's just for yourself. There's no need to push yourself over the edge. One of the personal shorts that I did was like an action piece. Took overall, like, I hate saying it, but I think it took like 2 years or maybe over 2 years to finish. But that's because I did have work and I'm not going to be working on my personal stuff every single day. I come back from work and I'm tired. I just want to relax. So I'm not going to, I was doing that before, but afterwards when I realized that was a bad idea, I stopped doing that. One of the shorts that I worked on took a really long time to finish because I would work on it on the weekends and not every weekend. Sometimes it would go on hiatus. I wouldn't touch it for months at a time, but then I would go back to it. So please don't think that, I'm just banging these things out like they're nothing. They do take time. I think, like I said before, the important thing is to be patient with yourself.
Wow, thank you very much. We wanted to ask you, how did you decide to become an animator in the first place? And how was your first approach to the animation industry?
When I was in college, I was in junior year and I was in a computer art major. So that wasn't specifically for animation. It was just an overall 3D animation major. But there was a time in junior year when I was working on specifically an animation assignment where I willingly stayed up till like 4 a.m. working on my homework assignment because I was having a lot of fun. I don't think I even got any sleep. I think I just went straight to class and showed that same assignment in the class. I think that was sort of when I realized, I think I want to do this for a living. This is really fun. In terms of work, like when I graduated, it's not like a dream story or anything like that. I didn't end up working in the feature film industry for a really long time. After I graduated, I freelanced in New York City for about 7 years, doing animation for commercials or, like video game cinematic trailers and stuff like that. So yeah, I slowly just worked my way up, just like inch by inch. I started off really small, so there's nothing really special to tell about my first job. It was just a first job, and I'm pretty sure I did terrible.
What would you like animators to stop doing? What would you advise them to not do?
Don't get too consumed with your work for health reasons. It's a very, very easy trap to fall into. We animators need to be passionate about our work in order to do a good job, but there is such a thing as being too passionate. At that point, you're going to spend more of your time and energy than you should. It's becoming a detriment to your health. Not go too far in terms of being invested in your day job. From my experience, I've realized that I can work in a very focused manner for about 2 hours at a time, and then I would have to take a break, whether that's going for a walk or grabbing a coffee, walking around the office, talking to people, maybe 20 minutes or so. I have to take that break after that 2 hours of extremely focused work, or else I can start to feel myself getting burnt out, like mentally and physically. So 2 hours of very focused work, and then I take a break, and then I can jump back in to that focused mindset.
We would like to know how you approach a very complex shot. What is the process that you go through?
Okay, so I think most of the complex shots that I've had to animate usually involve lots of physical action, interesting cameras, maybe kind of crazy dynamic cameras. So the first thing I would say, or at least how I approach it, is usually I have to spend a lot of time figuring out what my character is going to do. So for example, one of the shots that I animated on SpiderVerse, it was a very complex shot towards the end of the movie, and I made sure to do my proper planning. For the first, I would say 2 days or so, I didn't touch my shot in Maya. I didn't actually animate anything. I didn't touch any of the controllers to do anything. For the first 2 days, I literally just sat at my desk, tried to come up with the ideas in my head to the point where I could see things playing out in my head. Play this movie clip out in my head over and over until I can more or less clearly see what is happening on each beat. And then I will start scribbling out thumbnails, drawings of what the character is going to do. And all of this so I can know pretty precisely what this character is going to do in this shot at what time. My goal in doing all of that is to be able to look at the layout or previs shot and imagine the character doing all the things that I was just thinking about.
Yeah, perfect. So tell us, David, I know you're someone who absolutely loves to draw since a very young age. Do you use these drawings to help you animate in 3D?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my drawing capabilities do come in handy when I'm trying to come up with poses for characters and stuff. I'll just draw out little thumbnails for whatever pose I want the characters to be in. I also use them for if I want to make a smear frame or multiples for an animation that I'm doing. It usually helps if I can draw that out with a grease pencil or something in Maya first. So yeah, the answer is yes.
And do you think it's helpful for 3D animators to learn how to draw?
Yes, I do think it's helpful, but I don't think it's necessary to know how to draw to be able to animate. I have a few friends who, nothing against them, but they can't really draw that well, but they're amazing animators, so.
First of all, congratulations, you won an Annie Award, and that is impressive. Your animation in SpiderVerse was outstanding. So we would love to know, what did you learn from that movie? How did that movie change your animation?
That is a great question and also a very hard question to answer. Learn to hone my ability to be extremely focused in the zone, but at the same time being extremely confident and bold in my animation choices. Because of the nature of the shots that I was getting, pretty challenging shots, only way for me to actually get these shots done and do a good job was to just obliterate them. Like, if the shots were presenting a wall to me, the only way I could get the shot done was to just destroy that wall.
And within SpiderVerse, did you get to animate cameras and characters as well? Did you get to do some previs for your shots?
One, for example, Spider-Man would be swinging a very, very long distance in the city, and it would be hard for layout or previs to know where exactly the camera would end up or how it would be following Spider-Man's actions when he's swinging. So they would give us just a rough version of the camera, and sometimes the animators would have to go in and actually more or less redo the entire camera. So yeah.
Thank you very much. So do you have any special tips and tricks for camera animation?
The only thing I can say about cameras is to just watch a lot of movies, watch a lot of TV shows, watch cartoons, and just pay attention to the camera compositions that they use, the different focal lengths that they use. If you're going for crazy dynamic cameras and stuff, pay attention to what they do in anime. Lots of animes have like insane cameras going on. And if you're animating a string of shots that require the cameras to flow together nicely, what I would recommend doing is having Maya on one side and After Effects or Premiere or whatever editing software that you use on the other side. And just after you animate your stuff, like play blast it all out, your multiple shots, and then bring it over into your editing software and just play it out and make sure that those cameras are flowing together. If it doesn't work, go back to Maya, reiterate on those cameras, and just keep bringing it back. Just go back and forth and iterate over and over. That's what I did for one of my little shorts that I worked on, and it helped tremendously. It's a very quick way to make sure that the cameras are flowing together nicely.
Well, everyone who watched this interview has learned so much. Thank you for sharing your tips and knowledge with us, my friend.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here on your channel. It's been a blast answering all your questions, and to whoever's watching, I hope this has been helpful or inspiring to you guys. And lastly, if you're not subscribed to Ilse's channel, you might want to do that now. She's got some pretty cool animation related videos coming out, so maybe you want to stay updated. But yeah, that's it for me, so I'll see you guys.
Please keep animating because you're doing an amazing job. This was David Han. Leave a comment about an artist that you want me to interview and the questions you would like me to tell him or her. Thank you very much for watching. Keep making art, you beautiful, beautiful artist. Ciao.